greatest challenge you have faced when, doing your way of breaking the glass ceiling and become such a powerful woman in Latin America?
Thank you, Tatyana, for the wonderful pleasure of being here with you today. And congratulations to Russell Reynolds for doing such an empowering and inspiring program for women around the world. It's hard to answer this question without thinking about the pandemic. I was assigned as a Vice President and General Manager of Colgate Brazil less than a year before the pandemic got into our country. So I was still learning the drill and forming the team when I was suddenly faced with these enormous dilemmas and challenges that I personally had really not a lot of confidence or understanding of how to tackle them. So I think the first one was an internal challenge, making sure that I said to myself, there are many things I don't know, but I can learn. And with humility and collaboration, we can do this together. So that was the first challenge, understanding that the biggest limitations are usually inside our heads. I think the second one was because it was such a difficult time for so many people. It was not only about being assertive with the business and taking courageous decisions for the business, it was really about the team and doing what is right for the team. So I think it brought the best out of me to lead with my mind, but more importantly, lead with my heart. And it was something that was quite unique. I decided to embrace that piece of being compassionate, being very close to people, but it was unusual for not for me, but maybe even for them to be so close and all the time, talking about the issues that we were facing and trying to overcome them together. So I feel that, leading with humility, courage and commitment, but not forgetting who I was and who I am, and trying to bring that personal touch to everything I do. And to finalize, I think that not only inside Colgate, but outside as well. So, I felt an urgency to help the communities we live, operate, and serve. So a lot of new things, but committed to do good every single day and to be a part of the solution as well. So I think that was a big challenge for me at a moment that I was fresh in a new position, and the team was wonderful, formidable, supporting me and everybody around us all the time. So we made it, I would say.
That's wonderful. And why do you think there is not as many women in leadership roles in the region?
I think that for people to dream big, first of all, you need to dream about it and you need to dream big. But for people to dream about those things, you need to see someone like you. Usually starts like that, and we see very few. I have to say, in Brazil, as far as I'm concerned, there's like 14% of the board seats are dedicated to women, or around 13% or so of the presidents of companies are women. And many times you just look around and you don't find many people like yourself in different positions, not only in top positions. That's number one. Second, I really think that we need to face it. Challenges are different as well, and we go through moments in life. I have 2 kids, so you go through those processes and you start to question yourself. Am I able to balance everything? What kind of mother, professional can I be? Can I do it all? How, who do I talk to? Sometimes we feel quite isolated, I would say, in trying to overcome some of those challenges. So, having more women and having making that conversation a part of our everyday is really important, so that we understand that we're, before being women or before being wanting to do a certain job, we're human beings. And what I have discovered is that we have more in common than we think. So when you become vulnerable, when you offer to share some of your own challenges, people start to open up and believe that it's possible. That is one piece. I think the second piece is we really need to stay committed, because, you know, we have to make concrete actions. And I usually joke, I say marriage is an everyday decision, right? You need to renew your commitment every day. I think diversity, equity, and inclusion is an everyday commitment. It's not a nice to have, it's not a 1 week, it's not a once in one event, it's your everyday modus operandi, is your mindset, is the way you tackle challenges. And not just because it's the right thing to do, which certainly is, but because it makes a huge impact in business results, in innovation, in team performance, in team morale. So, you know, I just make sure that every week, every day, when I'm talking to my teams about different things, who do we assign a project to? Who do we mentor? How do we choose who we mentor? Which programs are we are going to develop? Which companies are we going to partner out there to help us become more literate, aware, and act upon the opportunities we have? Females and other groups of interest come to mind. So, you know, it's about mindset, it's about commitment, and it's about action every day. And I think there's enormous space for many to continue doing that, because it's a journey. We still have a long way to go. I think Colgate is extremely committed and we see the progress. But I think around us and even inside, we still have opportunities that we will continue to tackle.
And Maria Paula, who had the greatest impact in your career trajectory? Who was someone who was important and, you know, helped you, and what they did to help you in your ascension in your career?
It's interesting because every time that I try to pinpoint a name or a big person of influence out there, it's hard for me to do it. I think the biggest influence that I had are Brazilian women that live under difficulty, under hardship, and wake up every single day at 4, 5 a.m. to do the lunchbox for their kids, to get the kids ready, to take the bus, take them to school, go to work, come back, deal with them at home, and they do it with a big smile in their face. You know, they are grateful for life and they are grateful for having the opportunity of doing all of that. So that to me is the biggest example of strength and power that we can have. It's in the everyday life. It's just about you stopping and looking around you. The second one was my mom. I think my mom always told me, you have to toughen up without losing your tenderness. And she always said, you know, dream big, work hard, do the right thing, and you will be able to, little by little, accomplish what you want to. And I think she taught me to try to avoid the mental traps that we put to ourselves. As I said in the beginning, usually the biggest limitation is in our heads. So I think it's a fact that in life you're gonna fall. The question is not if you're gonna fall, is how you're gonna stand up again. And that's what I try to think about every day. And remember, I work for Colgate, so we really believe in optimism. We think that smiling is empowering. When you smile, you open doors. If we are committed to oral care education, because we believe we have educated just in Brazil alone over 65 million kids in like 20 something years. And we know that when you have like a good and nice smile, you're going to have more chances to connect with others, to find a job. So, you know, I try to take on the hardship with optimism and stand up quickly and ask for help.
Wonderful. And what do you think that other leaders in the region, you being such an international executive, having lived in different places, but when you think of Latin America and specifically when you think of Brazil, what do you think other leaders could do to help women to improve their career, to promote more women into leadership roles in the region?
I think, first of all, we all need to be authentic. We need to be who we are. I think that many people try to be someone else because they believe that's the right way of approaching things, and it doesn't work. So I would say, you know, embrace yourself. If you are in a certain position, in a certain company or a different type of job, the first thing is to lead authentically, be yourself, embrace who you are. Second one, I think, is help by understanding what people need. So listen a lot, ask questions. Last year, for example, this year, we relaunched the Colgate Women Network program that we have at Colgate. What did we do? We asked not only women and everybody else in the company, what were their struggles, what they wanted help with, how could we help? And we came up, they came up with amazing insights. For example, imposter syndrome is very prevalent and people don't have a lot of information about that. Usually when someone is suffering imposter syndrome, they feel they have to hide it. The reality is that many people at different levels of the organization have gone through that. So we decided to bring experts to Colgate to talk to the teams about imposter syndrome. We learned that financial independence was a big topic for women. Men tend to be more organized around that, so we also supported with that. We also learned that they just wanted a space to understand how far they could go with their own personalities, having a guidance. So we set up a mentorship program. We right now have close to 35 women being mentored by leaders in the company. We also have Afro-Brazilians being mentored by leaders in the company. So I believe it's about listening first, understanding where you can really make a big impact. And then, as I said, for marriage, stay committed every single day and making sure you're bringing it to life. And it's going to be different in one company to the other, but keep doing it. And I would say also network a lot, because I think traditionally networking for women has been slightly harder. I don't know why. I don't feel that so much. If I need help, I tend to reach out and do the networking. But I think it's, again, in our heads. People tend to think, oh my God, how am I going to call someone? And what is the interest that this other person has to network with me? What I usually say is there's nothing to lose. If you are willing to offer, not only to ask, if you are willing to exchange values, people will make the time for you. You may be surprised. So make sure you network so that you understand what is around you beyond what you can see. You can see the context with others' eyes and stay open to learn.
Wonderful. So you have already mentioned a lot of initiatives that are fantastic, but what other actions are there you would like to share with us within Colgate that you have been doing to help women to succeed?
I think with great powers come great responsibilities, as they say, So you have to, beyond the formal programs that get to be seen by everybody, You also have to continue to stay connected and try to sensitize and influence beyond your area of work. So I believe that we have been creating enormous networks that go beyond Latin America, within Latin America. So I love to mentor. I mentor first-time GMs in the region, general managers in the region. I mentor sometimes outside Colgate. So for example, recently I did mentorship for underprivileged students in the interior of São Paulo state. But I also love to be mentored. And what I try to do is to have reverse mentors that are women. And why do I do that? Because that sends a big message that I'm 100% sure I don't know everything. So I get a mentor in, for example, diversity, equity, and inclusion that is part of our committees. She was my reverse mentor. Then now, for example, I have a mentor that is an expert in digital transformation. So she is really, she has been working for 15 years in that area, and she's always challenging me and saying, this is how we think, this is what motivates us, this is what we need to change, this is what we need to pay attention to. So I think giving back is a must do, but also giving forward, making sure that you're helping form the leaders of tomorrow, and you're committed with that every day. So I think beyond our formal programs is also a choice, and I have chosen to be like that every single day.
Very inspiring, Maria Paula. So just, I'm going to my last question here. It's been very rich, but if you could give an advice for women, the next generation of leader women in Latin America, having gone through so many things during your career, so many challenges, so many relocations, every day having to commit again, but which advice would you share with this new generation?
I would say, you that are listening now, you are unique, and so are your contributions. Embrace who you are. Make sure that people understand you are wherever you are working, you are there not for what you deliver only, but for what you think. Make sure you put yourself out there, share what your contributions, share what you think, stay connected. I would say people tend to think that you can only connect the dots from the past. And I believe that moving forward, the dilemmas will only be tougher and more unpredictable. So the best way to be prepared individually or collectively is to always be looking for foresight, always trying to learn from others. We have a program at Colgate called CP Brazil Learning Series, where we bring thought leaders almost every week to talk to us. And there we had heads of banks to show us, how to lead with context, heads of consultancies, heads of digital transformation companies, heads of e-commerce or other emerging retail environments. We've had people that are really focused on diversity, equity, and inclusion. So we had Rachel Maia, that I think is speaking here. We had Luisa Trajano. We had a company called Cruzando Histórias that helps women that are without a job to find a new job for them. And, just stay connected with all of them. Dream big. Stay optimistic, as I said, always with a big smile, and resilient. It's a fact that some things are gonna go wrong, but remember, if it's still not going well, it's not the end. Nothing in life is forever, neither success nor failure, and every failure is a learning. So make sure you stay focused on your North Star, on your big dream, and keep fighting. You'll get there.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for taking part of our initiative. It's an honor, it's a pleasure to host you here today. And good luck in your new challenge.